So Chef, what are we working on today?
Today we're going to make a potato leek soup. And we're starting off, we're melting our butter over medium heat. And we're going to add in our onion and leek. And we're going to sweat.
Now what does sweating mean?
Sweating, we're going to use lower heat to bring the flavors of the vegetables together. As opposed to sauteing on high heat where we want to seal in the juices. We're going to bring out the liquid, which is going to give flavor to the body of our soup.
Great. So you're melting the butter now?
We're melting the butter. We're going to start off adding our onions.
And your flame is on a low flame, obviously.
About low to medium.
Okay.
I'm going to add in our leeks. This is the great hearty winter soup.
And the point of your column, and particularly this recipe, is what? That we shouldn't be married by recipes, even though I am married to recipes.
If we learn technique, then cooking becomes more organic.
Excuse me, a little kosher salt.
A little kosher salt. This is going to help draw out the moisture. If we season every step of the way rather than just at the end, you're going to find out you use less salt. And we're keeping the heat nice and low. And we want to cook these until they start to soften. And we start bringing out the natural moisture, which is going to release the natural sugars in the onions and the leek. This is going to bring a nice sweetness to the soup.
I see you're stirring constantly.
I want to make sure that all the onions and leeks get coated with the butter. This is going to be important in the next step when we go to thicken the soup. When we add the flour, we want to make sure that we get an equal distribution of the fat, so we can use as little flour as possible to absorb.
And is that a roux?
A roux would be, we're using equal parts. We're going to use a little bit less, so it's a technique called sanjay, which means literally to dust with flour. Lightly dust with flour. Okay, this is going to help give body to the soup. We don't need a full-blown roux here because we're also going to be using the starch from the potatoes to help give body to the soup.
And a full-blown roux would be
equal parts of butter or fat and flour.
Great.
So we just want to absorb some of the fat so it doesn't float on top of the soup and give a little body. And if you can see a little glistening, you need just a hair more flour.
Okay. I'm going to get right over there so we can take a look.
We're going to add a little bit of rosemary. A little bit of thyme. This will help infuse the flavor of the herbs into the soup. And then we'll add more at the end to bring the flavor around.
And now you're adding the chicken broth.
We're adding our chicken stock. And we want to add just a little at a time and stir. And you can see the liquid thickens up. And if you add the liquid in slowly, let it thicken, it will end up not lumping on you. We're going to add some potatoes. We got some Yukon Gold.
We can remind our viewers that for exact measurements we can check KateMay.com and Chef's recipe for this month.
We're going to add a little bit more stock.
It doesn't seem like this recipe takes very long to make at all.
This is very quick, simple. The longest part is coming up now, where we're just going to let it simmer until the potatoes cook. Now that the potatoes are tender, we're going to take a little bit of the stock and we're going to add it into the cream. This way we can equalize the temperature, prevent curdling or breaking. We'll just give that a quick stir, equalize the temperature. And we'll slowly add this into the simmering soup.
Which smells very yummy. I cannot tell you how it smells with this, but just trust me.
And we're going to let that simmer. Add a little bit more rosemary and thyme.
And again, this is such a lovely and quick meal. And what do you think the total time from beginning to end here is?
It's about 20-25 minutes.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
And we're going to adjust the seasoning with a little pepper.
And what do you suggest serving it with? A nice crusty bread?
Nice crusty bread. Some good hard cheese.
And what kind of wine would you pair this with?
I would go probably with a Pinot Grigio or a Riesling. A little salt.
So a simple meal, but an elegant one.
And if you want to turn this into vichyssoise, you could cool it before you add the cream, puree it, and then add the cream in cold to the chilled soup, and you'd have a summertime vichyssoise.
And you were saying that a potato leek soup, you would add more leeks? Is that?
I would add a little bit more leek. And you could add roasted chicken to this and bring it into a full Sunday dinner. And there we go, potato leek soup.
Very yummy. And there we have potato soup with Chef Davies. Thank you, Chef.